0 to 60 test. It's really quite impressive performance-wise, this car. But there's one thing that becomes immediately obvious when you do accelerate in the car, and that is how the front wheels, which are the driving wheels, are affected so much by the acceleration. You really do feel the tugging to the left and to the right as you accelerate, and it creates a very disconcerting feel while you're driving. You don't really feel like you're in control of the vehicle. It would be far superior if this vehicle was a rear-wheel drive. But then saying that, it does move this car, there's no doubt about it. But even putting the acceleration aside, the front wheels seem to be dictated by everything in the road. I almost feel that if I was to hit a lump in the road, or a pothole or something, then maybe the wheels would actually be turned from the outside in, so that the actual steering wheel in the car would move independently because of some item I've run over in the road. So the steering on this is a big issue, and I have to say I don't like it. I don't feel like I'm in control of the steering. I feel like the steering can be dictated by the surface that I'm driving on. But there's bags of power. You foot down now, and it just takes off. It's really quite impressive. Very nice car to drive. Fantastic driving position. Really good position here. I could drive this for miles. The rear view mirror, very good. No obstruction from any headrests. Side mirrors are huge. No problem seeing where you've been. The instrument cluster, well, they are set down in these tubes, and I must admit I don't like that. I would have preferred it if it had been open. It seems it's harder to read when you've got 3 independent tubes to look down. Center console, your sat nav, radio, etc., and heater controls. It looks complicated, but it's not. It's actually very basic. But to be fair, there's no chance of anybody operating all this stuff without having to take your eyes off the road, so that's a bit of a flunk. Now the general sort of plastic in the car does feel a bit cheap and nasty. It's no way as tacky as its other Japanese rivals, but it doesn't feel prestigious or luxury. It does feel basically like a Toyota, which is probably what it is at the end of the day. It does have a feeling of cheapness, so I do wonder why Lexus claims its pedigree badge, because it doesn't really tick all the boxes in that department. Cornering of the car, quite stable to be fair. It doesn't struggle going around the corners, it's quite agile. Yeah, if I give the steering a bit of a wiggle test, really does boat about a lot, this car. I wouldn't like to do an emergency swerve in this car at all. I think we'd be in a lot of trouble. One thing I'm going to finish on here now is if anybody's thinking about buying one of these cars, I would take one for a test drive, and I would pay particular attention to this steering, because there's something about the steering on these Lexus 400s that just doesn't feel right. Apart from that, I find it difficult to fault this car. It's by no means prestigious. It doesn't have that well-built quality that you would associate with sort of like a German car, but they are good to drive, and they are reliable cars. But I think, to be fair, they might be overpriced.